Now there's an arrangement you've heard for many years if you're a CVP Clavnova dealer. I love it when customers do this. My name's Craig Knutson. Thanks so much for taking the time to let me describe to you the difference between follow lights and CueTIME. You know, these are two types of strategic software that I invented for Yamaha many years ago that targeted two distinct markets: non-musicians versus musicians, or non-players versus people who do play. And frankly, the technology is very similar between the two. They both sort of use lights and guide, but the final result is quite different and quite dramatic. These two types of software allow you to be able to market the CVP to the two extremes of the continuum. Let me show you. Now, follow lights, pretty straightforward. The lights show you which notes to play, and if you don't play the right note, it waits until you do. That's why with every follow light demonstration, I always like to encourage the customer to hit a wrong note. First of all, their heart's going 90 miles an hour because they've never played before and they're afraid they're going to make a mistake. Give them permission to make a mistake. No big deal. It also helps emphasize the fact that it's waiting for them. You can tell them 30 times that it's waiting for them, but unless they experience it themselves, I've actually heard people go, "Oh, I see, it's waiting for me then," all right? So that's one little hint. The other hint that I'll give you is always get the non-musician, the non-player, following the lights. Don't you do it. Have the customer do it. And in fact, I like to pick on usually the husbands who's standing there with his arms like this, you know, and you say, "Sir, do you play?" And he says, "Oh, no, talk to them." I said, "No, do me a favor. See that light? Go ahead and hit that key." And they'll do this. They'll reluctantly go, and they'll return their arms like that. Well, that's why the software is programmed so that even if they hit the key too lightly, like I am here, see what it's doing? It's re-striking that key with a good velocity. It's even holding down that note with the proper duration. So it's totally foolproof at the point of purchase. You can't make a mistake. Let's face it, non-musicians can't read. Well, they don't need to read. They're following the lights. Non-musicians can't necessarily count. They don't need to count because it's following them. Pretty cool. And then finally, the last hint I give for follow lights is be sure you leave the score function on, because then there's a direct connection between that silly little light and actual music notation, all right, complete with the name of the note there. So that's a legitimizing feature for follow lights. Well, as our marketing manager at Yamaha likes to say, if you really want to legitimize follow lights, no follow lights demonstration is complete without a CueTIME immediately following the follow lights demonstration, all right? Why is that? Well, first of all, the technologies are very similar. The lights are used, but in a little different fashion, and guide is used to make it wait for you, but the final result is completely different. And here's another thing that's completely different. CueTIME comes with music. After all, you're not following the lights, you're following the music. So we're targeting musicians, people who play. You explain to them, you gotta read the music. But in the course of reading the music, you will hit what I call these musical landmines that will have the background orchestra follow you. So watch this. Let's go ahead and read Bach's Prelude in C. I love sitting someone down who's never played along with a disc. And you just tell them to read the music. Actually, the MIDI file is playing right now. How come I don't hear it? Well, it's waiting for me to play a certain note. And until I play that note, it won't continue. How do I know where that note is? Well, if you just play all the notes on the page, you'll hit it, but watch this. And as a result, since it's waiting for me, if I play slower, it'll slow down. If I speed up, it'll speed up. It's also perfect for page turns. Yes, it waits for me. If you miss a note, that's where the light comes in. Let's say you're not sure which note you missed. It actually lights up which note you missed, and you can see it on the music. The music also has a little hint. If you look carefully, some of the notes are shaded. Those are the notes it's waiting for. But again, if you just read the music as written, you'll hit those notes and it'll follow you. What's the marketing importance of CueTIME? If you buy any other digital piano, you need to follow the disc or the background. If you buy a Clavnova with CueTIME, the background or the disc follows you. All right, so follow lights demonstration followed by a CueTIME demonstration. This allows us to help sell CVP Clavnova's software, sells hardware. Enjoy, and thank you so much for taking the time.